Hello and welcome to Flooring Models Kit Review Time. Today we got Great Wall Hobbies 144 scale Valiant. Alright, okay, it's not a Valiant, even though it says it's a Valiant. Let's get the elephant out of the room, shall we? We've done a lot of jokes, technically, about this kit since we first got it. A little bit of a typo. It's actually the Valiant. This is the Mark 1. Alright, so first nuclear bomber. Obviously part of the V-Force, very famously, with the Victor and the Vulcan as well. So again, really, really nice kit. We've seen it in other scales as well. Priority Airfix's 1/72 kit, which is actually a very nice kit as well. So again, nice to have something a little bit smaller. Trouble with these V-bombers, they get very, very big. Having a Vulcan sat there, which is I think one of the smaller ones, out of the three. All right, so again, in this scale, you still get plenty of detail and a lot easier to get it on your shelf. All right, so in the box, or on the box, you can see we have Valiant. Again, this is a little bit of a typo. I think some of them, clearly the ones we've got, all had Valiant on them instead of having Valiant. So yes, just a little bit down there. As you'll see in a moment, it does fix itself. The other bombers that are available in the series, as you can see there, we've got a couple of flavours of Vulcans. We've got one as a later tanker, and we've got a Victor over here as well. We've done reviews of these kits as well, so you can go off and see those ones as well. Again, luckily for us, the actual design covers over the small typo. I wonder if that was deliberate. All right, down in there like that, and then round on here, some of the options, say with that nice sort of camo. And then down over here as well, you can see it. So in the box, we are greeted by the correct spelling, thankfully for us. So down in here, we've got one of the pullouts, and again, weirdly enough, that is correct. It does say Valiant. All right, so we've got that one down in there like that. All right, just there. All right, and then over on the other side, we've got the color callouts, and obviously it's with the nuclear white. In this particular one. All right, so again, we can see this down in here, and this is from Honington in 1964 with 7 Squadron. All right, so we've got that one. Then in here, we've obviously got your bags, separately bagged. Really nice one-piece wing with an overfill on that one, which is quite nice. The weapons, so obviously we've got the nuclear bombs, little clear sprues for the top and bottom. All right, and then down in here, we've got your decals. We've got a little bit, I assume that's nose weight. Feeling it feels quite heavy. And then down in here we have the other ones. So again, correctly done with the wraparound again. So again, white on the bottom, wraparound on the top. And then over on here we've got your decal placements. So this is Wittering in 1957 with 49 Squadron. All right, so you've got a couple of different options down in there. Then as always, we have your instructions, which is done correctly, as you can see. So again, and then down in here we've got an outer shell, obviously with the parts. So again, fuselage wings, as we've just seen down there. We do get a weight, which is quite nice as well. And obviously we've got the decals, so that's nice. And then straight down into here we've got your instructions. So pretty much for the V-Force, starting off with the intakes. So we've got those compressor fans just down in there at the back. So again, nice thing with these, pre-paint these all the way through and then fit them in. All right, and then again, a couple of little strafes to go in the front of those ones. Then you've got the nozzles being fitted down at the back. We've got that weight going in there, which is a very precise 3.94 grams for the nose weight. I always stick a little bit more in there just in case. A couple of the seats, again, there's no real detail in here because the windows are that small, you're not going to see anything through there. What is a nice touch though, no problem with seam lines and all the rest of it, are going to be hidden nicely away from this. Even if it's not a particularly good fit, it's an easy fix. All right, so a nice one-piece wing right over the top. Then we've got a couple of little aerials, antennas being fitted down there onto the clear part on the top, and then that being fitted on, and then the nose being fitted on the front. Then we've got the tail. So obviously we've got the vertical tail being fitted down in there, separate rudder, which is quite nice, tail planes being fitted and then attached to the rear. And then over to the gear. It's a little bit simplistic. Again, you can obviously liven this up with a little bit of scratch building if you wanted to. So we've obviously got the main gear being fitted and down and installed into place, nose gear being fitted, then we've got the rear sort of cupola being fitted down there at the bottom there. All right, and then over on the other side we've actually got the drop tanks being fitted onto this one. All right, so we've got the drop tanks being fitted in as you would want those on there, just like that. And then down on the inside we've actually got the bomb. So we would say we've got the nuclear bomb down in there, or we've got 1,000-pound bombs being fitted into the base. So depending if you wanted to go conventional or obviously nuclear options, you can fit those down in there just like that. Again, if you're doing gear up, things like that, you're just going to be removing the actual gear tabs and you could do it in a gear up configuration just like that. Same goes with the bomb bay. If you wanted to close that up as well, you have got the option, which is quite nice. All right, so we've looked at those. If we just pop in here, oh, back to staples. This is why I have no sensation on the end of my fingers. All right, so down in here we have your decals. Again, Great Wall Hobbies decals, they're pretty good. You know, maybe a little bit flat, but generally you can see good, clean, crisp. Luckily, if you're not a decal fan, you'll love it. So we haven't got a ton of stencil data or anything else down there. There's our little weight in that little baggie just down in there, as you can see him. Again, doesn't peel a lot, so but it's nice that it's there. As we've got it out, I won't bother getting this out because, to be honest, you can see what it is. Clear parts, yeah, they're a little bit thick, but to be honest, totally adequate for what you need in this particular scale. So down into the fuselage we have we've got the main fuselage sections just down in here. So again, all molded in one, all your cockpit and all your details and everything else, so there's nothing to worry about going down in there. As I said before, really it's more of a show. Put a little bit of colour down in there just so you've got a little bit of contrast when you look through. What's really nice though, to be honest, is the bomb bay. Look at the detail in the bomb bay, beautifully moulded. Considering it's quite a complex shape, to get that all out in one, very, very fine recessed panel lining. If I try and catch it in the light a little bit for you, you can see, actually, very, very nice indeed, as goes with it on the top as well. And again, polished very, very highly as well, even down in here with these parts. And again, on the blind side, you can see it's quite thick, so it's going to be quite strong. That bomb bay all moulded in one as well. That's actually looking very nice indeed. So, to go along with that, we've got the top of the wing. So, down in here. And again, one thing that stands out with all of these kits is the actual fineness of these details. I would say totally in scale. Even the little vortex generators along the leading edge of the wings down in there, looking very, very nice. There is a tiny little sink mark caused by this little guy. And again, I don't know if it will affect, but you can definitely see it just down in there. Maybe a swipe or two with a sanding stick. Pitot is moulded in, so just be a little bit careful with that. And again, you can see really very nice detail clearly. The intakes, again, a bit big and chunky, and the nozzles, but again, at this scale, you're not really worried about it. At least there's not an ejector pin in there or anything else like that. Down on the blind side, you can see nice and clean and crisp. There's the mouldings for those areas for the intakes. So again, it might be worth pre-painting these before you install it all down in there, if you're going for the camo version and things. So yeah, very, very nice indeed. Then we've got the lower wing, which is split into two. So down in here, actually got the lower wing, and again, attention to detail. We've got the little speed brakes down the back here, and again the access ports, all the separate flaps and slats, well, not slats on this one, but ailerons and flaps down on here. And again, nice detail down the bottom of the engines, really nice. Again, pylon is got some detail on there as well. The bomb bay door clearly just for closed purposes. The rack a little bit devoid, but again, by the time you got this thing armed up, you're not going to see much. But again, nice attention to detail inside there. We get some light reflecting on it. There we go. You can see plenty of detail just down in here as well, so that's very nice indeed. Okay, so next up we've got the tail planes, the nose, which has come off. So again, we'll have a look at that in a second. But sprue D, you can see, looking pretty good with the gear. We've got the rudder. To be honest, again, you've got all the vortex generators down in here. Getting a bit of rough air over that rudder, looking very nice. And again, good, strong, solid locating areas down in here. Inside the main gear doors, no ejector pins in anything. So again, good clean build with this one. Very nice. And we've got that little nose just down in there like that. Very nice indeed. Okay, last up we've actually got the weapon load. And again, in this scale you're not expecting, to be honest, too much. But we've got some various things down in here. Let's do the other things first. So we've got some of the gear bits, compressor blades, main wheels. Again, looking really nice, even on the blind side with those ones. That's good. Then obviously the fuel tanks. Sorry, this is the bomb. Sorry, they look very, very similar. So there you go. That's the nuclear blue bomb. Then we've got a couple of drop tanks down in there as well. So we've got 2 drop tanks, and then a plethora of 1,000-pounders, just like this. So again, fully loaded up right the way through. And there you have it. Again, really very, very nice. Again, there's a lot to be said about the actual kits in this scale. You know, a lot of people think there's no real detail, you can't see much going on, but I think you've seen there are actually beautiful recessed lines. And the way that the kit goes together isn't too bad at all. This is going to be a really nice sort of weekend build, something else like that. The way fuselage halves go in there, you know, basically just sandwiching them down, as long as you get a nice big, nice seam line on there. But to be honest, there's a good chunk of plastic in there. Sanding and polishing, rescribing shouldn't really be a problem with that particular one, and then having that way of doing it sort of top to bottom clamshell effect enables a very nice wing joint. So just a one piece right across the top, so you haven't got that situation of wings going in the side and then seams all the way around it. So that should work very, very nicely. Again, there's not a lot of detail in the cockpit and stuff like that, but when you see the size of the windows and actually what you're going to see, it's really not a problem. I think just basically getting some colour on the inside, a little bit of greys, things like that, a little bit of oranges in there, just so it gives the effect through the windows, you'll be absolutely fine. So yes, there we go. Depending if you want to build a Valiant or a Valiant, this is the kit for you in 144 scale.